Yellow belt. Horse riding position. Good. Good horse riding position. The back is straight, just like you're riding a horse. It's stable. You shouldn't be able, if someone comes over and knocks you off to the side, you shouldn't fall one way or the other. There's no leaning forward. There's no leaning backward. And look at the toes. The toes are pointing more towards the front than they are to the side. If you point the toes to the side, there's no stability there. You'll easily fall. Good. Point the toes towards the front, bend the knees. And in this position, we commonly do a punch. So as the punch comes out, we're hitting with the two most prominent knuckles. The two first knuckles is the striking point. And we're always aiming for the same spot. So watch. Here's another punch. Good. Here's another punch. Again, 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 again. The power is created by twisting at the very last moment. That accelerates the punch. Force equals mass times acceleration. As you accelerate, you generate more force. Hip is involved in the twist. Notice the twisting of the hip. The shoulder is relaxed. Notice the shoulder's not coming up. The more relaxed you are, the faster the punch is going to be. The faster you can accelerate the punch with the twist, the more powerful that punch is going to be. Okay, that's horse riding stance. You can practice a couple punches there at home. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do double punch. 1, 2. 1, 2. You can do low and then high, low. Right? Too low and too high. Too low and too high. Good. It's very good practice. Nice job. Walking stance. Walking stance, feet are shoulder width apart. Toes are pointed towards the front. Hips are pointed towards the front. Same thing. You want stability. Notice the back toes here are pointed towards the front. If they were pointed to the side, there would be no stability in this direction. Point the toes towards the front. That gives you leverage. Front knee is bent over your big toe. Shoulders are square. Hips are square. Same as the horse riding position. I should be able to knock you, and you should be able to stay where you are. As the student moves forward, eye level stays the same. Good. Regardless of whether you're moving forward or backwards, eye level stays the same. One more time. Good. And then moving backwards. Should be no fidgeting. No fidgeting. After you move, you're planted. It's a forward walking stance. Forward walking stance. Sometimes we call it progressive walking stance. Progressive just means you keep moving. So in this case, move forward. Good. Now going to move back a couple times. Good. Good. Exhaling each time. Now you can put a punch on it as you move forward. Good. Same thing. Notice head level is same level all the way through. Good. All the way back. Good. One more time. Good. Fighting position. Okay. Jab. Jab is from the hand that's closest to the target. So if Sensei were punching me, if he used this hand with a punch, it would be a jab. Right. Very speedy. Almost impossible for me to block. If he jabs, good. I'm going to block it with my face. The other hand is a cross. We call it a cross. So jab, cross. Good. Notice how Sensei actually covers the distance required. So if he has a really short jab, it's not going to have any effect on me. If he has a longer jab, good. That's where reach really plays a difference. In fact, they measure that in boxing. The longer the reach, more effective the punch. So jab, cross. Good. When Sensei does the cross, the other hand still stays close to the face. The elbow still stays in. So jab, cross. All right. If you notice carefully, for each of those punches, there's still the same set of things. For example, at the very end, there's a twist. Good. At the very end, the hips are used. Good. Notice the back foot getting power from the earth. One more time. Good. All the way through. Jab, cross. Same two main knuckles. So if we take a look, come a little bit closer, take a look. It's the same two main knuckles right here that are used when punching with the jab and the cross. Rising block. Rising block can be done from horse riding position, ready position, walking position. The mechanics are the same. The arm is angled so that the thing that's being blocked can slide off easily. If his arm were horizontal, there's a risk that he might break his forearm. If the arm is angled, it's more likely to slide off. Be sure the block is sufficiently high above the forehead. If the rising block is too low, and I happen to be carrying a pencil, and I'm trying to hit him on the head with the pencil, the tip of the pencil is still going to hit him on the head. That means the block didn't work. So that block's got to come up. Other hand traditionally is pulled back. In this case, we're in a walking stance. So if sensei moves forward again, it's a block. Good. One more time, it's a block. Good. And moving backwards, block one more time, and block one more time. Good. Just like the punching, there's a twist at the end. So as the block comes up, at the very end, there's a twist. One more time, block comes up, very end, there's a twist. One more time, there's a twist. Watch how sensei forms the block. Blocking arm goes on the outside. One more time, blocking arm goes on the outside. Rear leg roundhouse kick. So from fighting position, rear leg roundhouse kick starts with a chamber. Notice there's a chamber, and then the foot is whipped around. Good. One more time. Foot is whipped around. One more time. Good. There are two ways to hold your foot here. One is with your instep. Watch, come closer. Instep is the foot extended. The toes are extended. You're hitting with the instep of your foot. That works well for hard targets or softer targets. But if you're breaking wood, you're going to use the ball of your foot. So as this time the kick comes around, the foot is actually flexed and the toes are pulled back, and he's hitting with the ball of his foot. And if you come closer, again, he's striking perpendicular to the surface. So if I were holding a board here, he could come around with that kick with toes pulled back and hit with the ball of his foot. Good. Just like that. When breaking wood, for example, in most cases we use the ball of the foot. When sparring with our friends, we use the instep. Good. One added advantage of kicking with the ball of your foot is if I have my hands in guard position, his foot still gets in there. Still gets in. If it were in an instep position, I probably have a better chance of blocking it. So if you've got someone who's got their hands up and you feel like their hands are too close to their body, you can still get that kick in there by using the ball of your foot. Rear leg side kick. Fighting position again. Foot is leg is chambered. In this case, watch the kick come straight towards me. There's no angular movement. Like the rear leg roundhouse kick, there's angular movement. It comes around this way. In the case of the rear leg side kick, it's almost like I could put a tube here, a tube like this, and that kick would go all the way through the tube, good, hit me, and then go all the way out the tube again. It's very important that that kick thrusts straight in. Straight in. Watch how high the knee is brought up here. If the knee is brought up high, sensei can kick low and quick kick high. If the knee is chambered low, sensei's only option is to kick low. It's very hard for him to go high. He's got to pick that knee up even higher. Good. So as a rule of thumb, chamber high, that gives you so many options. The other person's still guessing what kick is going to come next. Take a look at the foot position. So as the kick comes around, we're hitting with the bottom of our heel. Bottom of our heel. Notice the toes are a little bit lower than the heel. If you open up your foot this way, you immediately lose a lot of power. So if you bring your foot down just a little bit, notice what happens to his hips. His hips come over a little bit. Watch, toes go up, hips come up. Toes go over, hip comes over. Bringing that hip over is going to use those stronger muscles like the glutes in the back. That's going to give you even more power. All right, one more time, side kick. Good. Regardless of whether you're kicking with a front kick or a side kick, it could be low, a low front kick or side kick, good. Could be medium level, good. Could be high, good, just like that. Always feel comfortable kicking low. Sensei Chad? I didn't realize we need a stunt double. But we want to do takedown number 1. So watch, Sensei Chad is going to punch face level towards Sensei Kevin. And Sensei Kevin's going to get out of the way of the punch. And maybe we should flip this around. So yeah, that works well. So as the punch comes in, Sensei Kevin's going to move to the side. He blocks the arm or the punch and does a palm heel at the same time. So maybe Sensei Chad, if you go over on that side, Sensei Kevin's over here, and we can see. Watch, Sensei Kevin's going to step this way, diagonally this way. he still stays close enough to the opponent so he can actually hit him. There's a block and a punch and a palm heel at the same time. There's a grab of the wrist. Good. And then a step to shuffle closer, and then a takedown. Watch Sensei Kevin. Come over here and take a look. He didn't let go of that wrist. He didn't let go of that wrist. That's very important. Once you take the person down, you got to maintain control. Hang on to the wrist. In slow motion, punch to the face, step to the side, block and palm heel, grab the wrist, shuffle forward, and trip. Good. Hang on to the wrist and punch to the face. When you're doing the follow-up technique, punch where it hurts. Punch to the face. Next technique is forward roll. The point of forward roll is to be able to stand up afterwards without being injured. So forward roll could be the case where you're walking along, say Sensei's walking along here, he's walking and he gets tripped accidentally. Good. He's going to tuck his arms in, he's going to tuck his chin in, he's going to roll on his shoulder, he's going to be sure that he doesn't land on his head or his neck. And he's going to be awfully sure that he doesn't put his hands out. A lot of people, when they're falling, they break their hands or their wrists by trying to catch the ground with their hands. You don't want to do that. You don't want to put your hands out there. Roll on the broader part of your body, which is the side of your shoulder. But Sensei Kevin might want to cover a distance by rolling. So in this case, he's down there and I'm over here, and he wants to get closer to me, so he's going to use a roll to do that. He does a long roll. Good. And suddenly I'm in trouble. So in the first case, he rolled when he was tripped. In the second case, he rolled to cover the distance. And then in this third case, you roll to jump over obstacles. So let's say Sensei Kevin's being chased by some wild dogs. And there's a barrier here. And all he has to do is roll over the barrier. Piece of cake. Home free. Self-defense is single wrist grab. When I grab Sensei Kevin, he knows that if I've got a good grip on him and he tries to pull, he's not going to get away so easily because it's my strength against his strength. And in most cases, it's either even or the bad guy's stronger. So the first thing he's going to do is open up his hand. It's going to make his hand alive. He's going to breathe, exhale through it, and make a circle against the weakest part of my grip, which is my thumb. Right? So if I've got Sensei Kevin here, open his hand, lower his center of gravity, and go against the thumb. Always self-defense is about attacking the weak spot. In this case, Sensei Kevin, as he's trying to get away, is attacking my weak spot, which is my thumb. He's going to follow up with a counter, some kind of counter, right? Same thing if I have two hands on two wrists, the weak spot is my thumb, he's going to circle around, right, and counter afterwards.